Guys. Hey guys, I'm Jesse. Hey guys, I'm Jesse. And Peter asked me to you. Hey guys, I'm Jesse. Hi. 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 The beginning's always the hardest part. Hey guys, I'm Jesse. And I understand that you're doing some work in your class about multimedia, PowerPoint, using technology in the classroom. Peter's asked me to take a few minutes and share some of my experiences and some things that I use for video creation and using technology to teach. I started a YouTube channel, Language Galaxy. Feel free to subscribe. And so I just kind of want to share with you some of my lessons along the way as far as video production and things you may not think about. So I just want to kind of share some of the lessons I've learned that you may not have thought about before. So the first one, as you could see in my introduction, is it's really strange to talk into a camera and to talk into a microphone, especially at first, especially starting. So I recommend if you do some sort of production, some sort of video or audio production, really take any opportunity you can to talk into a mic or talk into a camera, even if it's just to yourself in a voice memo in your phone. Just any opportunity you can to get experience talking into a mic, because it's amazing how much things change as soon as you press the record button. You'll find out. Actually, you can try it today in class. Try recording yourself saying something. That might be a good activity. Or not. Anyway, practice before you perform. Another thing you want to be mindful about is you should always have control of what is on the screen. That means for you and what's in the background. So just a second. Where was I? Yeah. Always be careful of what's in the background. You don't want to have dirty underwear hanging around in the back, or clean underwear, really. Just make sure your background is tidy, it's clean, and that it looks good. It's aesthetically pleasing, because you don't want something to distract your viewer's eye. If you're here creating your lesson and you have something hanging in the background, it's very distracting for the viewer. So make sure you know what's in the background. The next thing are the filters and the audio, the light. Use post-production editing. So if you have a Mac, iMovie's free to download. Windows Media Player or Windows Editor, I don't know what the Windows software is, but there's plenty of free editing software. Be sure you use it. Adjust the light, because before I adjust the light, it looks like this. Before I adjust the sound, it sounds like this. It's a little less clear. I deepen the sound. I move up the bass a little bit. I reduce the background noise so it gets less of an echo. At least that's the idea. And I just make it a little brighter. I also have videos that I've worked around and played around with making it black and white. But play around with what suits your style. Editing software is your friend. The devil is in the details, is what we say. And the details, that's everything. Adjusting the light, adjusting the sound, making sure the background is what you want. Production. Also, you've probably noticed this, but most vloggers you see, their face and their head, it's called a talking headshot. So their head is in the middle, their face is in the middle third of the shot. So that makes sure that the focus is on you, and you are where the eyes go. The eyes are drawn to you because you're the one with a message. You're the one with a lesson or a message or a story or whatever. You could choose to have one solid color in the background, or if you have access to a whiteboard, that's terrific if you want to use it to write your lesson. But if not, you could also use technology, use video editing software, and kind of create a presentation along with yourself in this blank space. Of course, keep in mind, if you do this, make sure that you take yourself off center, right? Always keep in mind what you want to have in the picture. So if I want to use this space to present something, I'd want to put myself off center. But if you just have a normal talking head, you'd probably want yourself in the middle third. And you could also put something here if you want. As far as design, you'd have to decide what you want. Do you want to be on the camera? Maybe you don't want to be on the camera. Maybe you could make a sweet PowerPoint presentation and record that. Put some light music on in the background and do your presentation through PowerPoint, but make it a little animated. If you do a PowerPoint presentation or Prezi or whatever screen capture you want to do, there are a few things to remember. First, don't have too much information on one slide. So you don't have to put your entire script on the screen, because the human eye, our minds can only receive a certain amount of information. You want to put that information on the screen, the most important. Or if you want them to practice repeating a sentence or you want to demonstrate it, of course, put that sentence. But don't put too much information on one slide. I try to keep it around, 4 or 5 points or sentences. And then go to another slide. Colors, fonts, using a colorful background, using a picture background. These are all little details that could make your video or your lesson stand out in people's memories. We remember in colors, we remember in shapes. So keep that in mind. That's what I try to keep in mind when I do this sort of presentation. Again, if you'd like yourself in the picture with the presentation, editing software makes this stuff so easy. I can put myself small in the corner. I could put the presentation small in the corner. Whatever you feel like doing, whatever works for your lesson and your video and your style. Timing, one of the biggest compliments that I get about the courses that I put out is that the videos are short. That's actually the number one compliment. Is that a compliment? It's a compliment. So, because why? Because it goes with how much information we can take in, especially now with Facebook and YouTube, and we keep just scrolling down Twitter. What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? So you have to keep in mind you're talking to somebody. Again, like I said before, it's really strange talking to a camera, especially knowing you can edit afterwards. And if you make a mistake like that, you flub your words, then you can say, well, I can just edit that out later. Okay, but it's important to keep in mind to keep it short. Remember that you are talking to somebody. So keep them in mind. And because as a society, our attention spans are becoming shorter, we're always changing, you need to keep your videos short, or else, think about yourself. Do you really spend a lot of time watching through a video unless it's really capturing, really entertaining? So for a lesson, I think people have a little more of attention span. So maybe 5, 6 minutes, no more than 8. It could be like 2, like a powerful 2-minute lesson that they capture one thing, they have one takeaway, and your viewer knows it and learns it. That's another strategy. That's another way. This is a really great exercise because I'm actually brainstorming as I'm talking, and it's helping me come up with ideas for myself. So thanks for that. I've talked about the audience a little bit, that you have to remember and keep in mind that you're talking to an audience. Who's your audience? But it's important to have an audience in mind, and that'll also help with talking to them. Because, as I said before, it's awkward talking to a camera. But if I have you in mind, that makes it a lot easier. So I do recommend you actually writing down who your audience is, their age, their purpose for viewing, why they're watching. That's the same thing. So write those things down. It'll help a lot. The content that you do, that's up to you, really, you and your assignment. But it's always good to have a specific thing in mind. Really, what I'm gathering now as I'm learning as I'm doing, right? So what I'm gathering now, have really one thing that you want students to take away, that you want your viewers to take away. I mean, do you want to be more entertaining? Do you want to be more educational? That's fine. But however, whatever method you choose, make sure that you have one takeaway that you want the students to have, that they can turn off your video and they can say, okay, I'm going to try this. You may have more, but really one theme. So you may have one phrase pattern, one sentence pattern, one grammar form, and you give several examples. Examples are always good. So you give several examples, but have one takeaway, one big idea. That's what I try to do with content as far as what I do in my videos. But seriously, guys, this is the best time in history for creative type people to learn how to make a living. And for freelancers, if you don't want to work for a boss and you want to work for yourself or have a part-time job, this is the time to do it. Find a way to be creative. And you already have your production. You already have your distribution. YouTube, Facebook, blogs, all these things that you enjoy learning and reading and watching, you can become a part of that now. And that's a beautiful thing. So it's never been better for freelancers. It's never been better for artists or educators or writers. So I just encourage you to look for opportunities to do what you want to do. Look for opportunities to provide for yourself, to learn new things, and to better yourself and better your situation. Aside from that, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for this opportunity. Like I said before, it's helped me. Thinking about these things and writing these down have helped me. So thank you for that. Again, to sum up, attention to detail. Keep your audience in mind that you are talking to somebody, and have one takeaway. You know, my one takeaway is 3 takeaways, but you kind of get the idea. Okay, so thank you. Subscribe on YouTube. Go to languagegalaxy.net. I have YouTube. I teach one-on-one lessons, all that good stuff. So look me up, subscribe, follow, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Thanks for writing right at the end of my video, Fred. Make sure you put your phone on silent when you record too.